What's up guys, Semo here, and today we're going to be doing the sixth installment of the compilation. So this is the middle of 200 sketches that I've done over the past few months. These are pretty old. They were made last year, I believe. Um, so you'll see a lot of relatively old ones. I mean, if you're new to the channel, you probably see even a lot. Some of these will probably be even new to you, to be fair. So I'm just gonna go over some of the ones that I enjoyed, and just yap for the next hour and a half, I think. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Just FYI, there's some merch still for sale on my Printify shop. I really appreciate if anybody wants to go take a look at it. The books are still on sale. We have a um, collection book and the short story novel. Still working on the new ones, but yeah, school and everything. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and let's hop right into it. For this sketch, I used Ichidori from JJK as a reference. Um, so yeah, nothing too crazy. I know a lot of people didn't like the way I drew his lips, but yeah. This was from a manhwa, or a reference from a manhwa. I'll tell you guys where I use references and stuff like that, just if you're curious. A lot of my sketches, not a lot, but a good portion of them are actually reference based. And then I just change some of the things that I might not like. And the only thing I changed here was his hair, but the face and everything, the shadows I used, just because I wanted to practice shadows on this sketch. But I don't think his face or eyes, I don't think I used that as a reference at all. This was practicing blocking and using shadows. This was fun. I wish I can go back and kind of redo, not redo, but learn some of these, unique techniques like this. But nah, I like my style now. This was a good practice though. I really enjoy the way it came out. This was a Midori from, who was it? From My Hero reference. It was a fan art somebody drew, and I just used it as a loose reference here, for one of my characters named Sace. So that's his name. Uh, so yeah, yeah. Again, nothing too crazy here. I don't think. The shadows and everything were pretty thing. The things with the eyes aglow, I really like doing stuff like that. This was just based on me. I just drew it, uh, you know, based on whatever. It's my imagination, pretty much. And this is Obi. So you guys probably see him a lot. He's pink with gray hair, gray or white hair, depending. This was a fun sketch as well, especially drawing the eyes, if I'm not mistaken, because I drew them like with a glow. Oh no, not this one then. It's a different one. This was, I don't recall the reference. I think it was a manhwa. Oh, I knew it was on Pinterest, but it was a manhwa on Pinterest, so I wasn't paying too much uh, attention to where it came from. But I just drew one of my OCs in the same kind of attire the guy was wearing, and use some of it, use some of the ways that they use the coloring and shadows as inspiration. This was fun though. I really liked this one a lot. What else? Nothing much. For that one, I was practicing more of foreshortening. As you can see, I wanted to see how I can get more of that um, forced perspective aspect to some of my characters. This one was really fun and interesting. I wish I probably would have drew him a little bit more flowy rather than kind of stagnant like that. I think, I mean, now I think I could do better, but I pretty much Pretty sure I have to practice a lot more on that type of stuff. There's another OC here. Just going through it. This is kind of my style of like symmetrical tool, using and abusing the symmetrical tool just to get out some of these sketches. This was fun though. I wish I can, not wish, I'm going to, just not yet, utilize more of these character designs more and like pop them out later on. Draw like full face and stuff like that. This was fun. I really like this one. So as you can see, I used it as a reference. Some people would say you just copy, but not really. I didn't do exactly what was there. But this was fun. I really liked this. This was like one of my better pieces that I drew. I think I probably didn't draw it on the scale that I wanted it to, because I think the pixel for this one, for the canvas size, was really small. I think it was 1080, which is not necessarily for how much energy I put into this sketch. Like, I worked hard on this sketch, and the fact that it wasn't like higher quality is a letdown. All that work for nothing. Not for nothing, but still, it could have been better. Same thing with this one, right? That's why some of the images you guys have been seeing lately have been a little bit more higher quality. It's because I put the resolution up for the how big the canvas sizes are. But it's primarily because of that, because I've been drawing like really cool stuff that I think is cool, and the only problem is the canvas sizes are too small. So I've increased it to the most my phone can handle. Just another little sketch here. But a lot of these faces, just to add on to earlier conversations, a lot of these faces are really interesting. Like, I've really had a lot of fun drawing them, and kind of leaning into my type of style of drawing with the big eyes. And obviously the eyes are too close together, but I think that's a cool signature for my style, that you can go around and find that. If you see somebody like, or not somebody, but if you see a sketch like that, that it's like, oh, that's Semoske or Semo, or like the big smiles and stuff like that. And then obviously the colors that I use. I don't see many artists having this type of ludicrous style. Very interesting, but I guess with all the critiques I might get from people, uh, they might not like it. But listen, a lot of people do. This one, I was trying to like draw a character, do something, and this was a throwaway sketch. I never used this sketch at all. This was fun. I really enjoyed this one. I didn't get a chance to talk too much about it when I did the 1 year drawing for 1 year, which part 2 is coming out later next month, I believe, in September. But this was really fun. There was 2 sketches there for that one. But yeah, I had so much fun drawing this. And this was all me, so no reference photo, just my brain and going into flow state. I don't know how I did it, but it was really good. I don't even know how I drew that hand. Somebody asked me, "Oh, how you draw that?" And I was like, "Listen, don't ask me. It's just that specific hand pops into my head all the time, and I don't know why or how I was able to draw it like that." It was fun though. And obviously practice. You guys don't understand how much I practice drawing, like a lot. So I mean, like I said, I draw at least no, yes, I draw at least one sketch a day. So I don't know if I said this, but yes, every single day I have drawn at least one thing. Right now, the drawing isn't gonna be pretty, not always, but every single day there's one sketch coming out, at least. So sometimes I post 3 times on my YouTube Shorts, but a lot of those if I post one time, or if I sketch one time for that one day, one of those videos is gonna be that one day that I sketched out something. Just if I'm too tired and I don't really have a lot enthusiasm for drawing, because even I can fall short sometimes on actually pushing it. I don't know why the aspect ratio of this video is like that, but bear with me because it'll be fixed in a bit. But yeah, a lot of these, I'll probably fix it in so I don't think you guys even noticed that. So this was another sketch and just another face. Again, like I said, having the eyes come together like that is just a stylistic choice. I know that the eyes are not supposed to be that close together, but it's this anime-esque type of style. And I think it's really cool. I really like it. It's one of those things that I have a background in graffiti, and obviously you can see that with a lot of the colors that I utilize, but that's why a lot of my characters have like these big bogy eyes, because I've always drawn like that. Not obviously not always, but I've always preferred to draw like that, right? I don't really like having all my characters have, small eyes and then like nothing on their face. Is like, no, give me some big eyes. Like if my characters could be all eyes, it would be even better. But I don't know how much people would like that. So this was another kind of like just off the dome sketch, um, which I thought was pretty cool. Kind of creating that forced perspective aspect to the character. I really didn't want to draw his other hand though, because I didn't know what I was even gonna do with it. To be honest, a lot of times if you see me like drawing the hands behind the back and stuff like that, it is not that I don't want to draw the hands, it's that I don't know what to do with the other hand. For instance, I can't imagine what that other hand is doing. And because of that is why I like have the hands hiding somewhere, because I don't really think about like, oh, this hand needs to be like this or this motion needs to be like that. And it's like, too much work. Let me just pop this out real quick. But I really liked it anyway, and this one was also really cool too. Again, this was when I was really having fun with like forced perspectives and kind of like pushing my limit for drawing and stuff like that. Again, another sketch here in the same way of the forced perspective. So I actually do want to ask you guys, if anybody gets to this point of the video, because we're 12 minutes in, uh, is there any characters that you guys, from any anime or anything like that, from any source, you know, any piece of media out there that you guys really, really enjoy and like actually look up to? Because some of my characters, I feel like um, I might want to, I'm kind of not worried, but I kind of want some of my characters to one day be a character that somebody looks up to, and I'm just like, oh, I wonder what people are looking for when they find a character that they like look up to, right? Like for instance, one of my favorite characters is Goku, but because I've been a fan since Dragon Ball, uh, and I understand his character, right? So he went through his entire. I'm going to rant here, so bear with me. He spent his in his entire childhood kind of growing and developing. So yes, he is a flat character, but he's a flat character starting from Z onwards. But by the end of Dragon Ball, the normal Dragon Ball, he was like a fully developed character. That's why we don't get any development with him, because he's done. But I also think that's what makes him such a good character, because we see his entire like livelihood there. So for me, it's this kind of. I think I like Goku because he's a character that just keeps moving forward. But that's uh, most characters are like that, right? So what specifically does a character say for you? Like, why is that specific character your favorite? Is there anything like deep down, or is it just like surface level? Let me know in the comments. um so this was just another random sketch of whatever the hell this guy is. I think this video might be shorter, cropped though, because the first half of the video is longer, so it might look weird to you guys. I didn't really like the sketch anyway, so you guys don't need to see all that. Uh, One of the things that I think I should be working on a little bit more is the way I choose to draw my hair. It is kind of like grabbed from the Dragon Ball type hair, but I think I could do a better job. Uh, for some reason, all my characters look like flat in the hair, which I think I can, like I said, I think I can do a lot better. Uh, Not as good. So this was actually going to be a one shot. I don't know. I haven't told anybody this, but I was in the middle of drawing it. I was having really fun, like a good time doing it, but I kept like I don't know. I didn't really feel I didn't quit. I finished like maybe two or three panels, and I was just like I don't really like it all like that. Um, like it's fun. This was really good. I really enjoyed this, but it's just looking at it was like, is this really the best I can do? And I just gave up. But I think I think I probably should keep going with it, just at least to make just a little one shot for that character, because that's realistically supposed to be an introduction to one of the characters that you guys have seen like a lot of. Um, the character running away there, he wasn't even like the main character. There's another character hiding somewhere. Um, Again, as you can see, that hair is kind of like, and his big ass eyes, yo. But like I said, those eyes are like, a staple in everything I make. Like for some reason, they're so cool. Like I can look at any one of my pieces or creations, sketches like that, and just be like, that's cool. I like it. Picasso. So this one, these types of sketches, the one where the face is kind of um, a side view, but it's not necessary. I think it's a 45-degree angle. This was one of those kind of practices here. There was this one and a few other ones that I really wanted to kind of practice the 45-degree face tilt, especially in my style, preferably because I think my style is what I was having problems with. This sketch here is connected to the one shot that I was talking to you guys earlier about. Um, and I really like it. Yeah, I think I did a good job. This was just that no reference, just completely based on like my idea here. And I know people keep asking, "Oh, are you gonna make a manga or something?" And I want to really badly, but I don't. With everything else that I'm kind of doing, you know, it's with time one day, hopefully. Um, then here you have just a traditional sketch, and I think there's like another two maybe. I just wanted to practice a side view. This was a reference of from Black Clover. I think it was Yuno screaming in one of the last chapters, but it is just a loose reference of him. This is a character with the mask. If you guys don't know the lore with the mask, there is a community post that I posted about all the masks and all what the symbols mean and stuff like that. So if you miss it, go check it out. There's pretty extensive lore dump there as well. A lot of that kind of backstory and stuff like that. Some of it is not gonna be integral to the main story. So a lot of people don't. I mean, you don't need to know what the mask means, but if you want to know what the mask means, then there you go. I don't know what I was doing when I was drawing this guy. Just a thumb, really. But it still came out pretty cool, pretty weird. But that's just my style, I guess. What was I thinking when I was drawing this? Mm. I like that coloring that I did there, the gradient with the lighter at the bottom to kind of go through bounce lighting there. That was pretty cool. I probably need to put that back in some of the newer sketches. The same thing with the 45-degree angle here. I don't really like this one on like that. His head is too caved, not caved, short at the top. But it seems fine. Again, you can tell that I have this like weird problem, at least back then. I don't know if I still have that problem now, but this weird problem with the jaw kind of jutting out further than the top of the head. This was another practice for forced perspective. I had fun with this. I think that the initial sketch came out really good. Adding the color, I think, became a problem because I don't think I shaded it properly, but yeah, it's always next time. This one was just another kind of creature s thing wearing a mask. Oh yeah, it looks like a snake. Uh, some of these sketches I don't even remember making. I just have a shit ton of backlogs of sketches that I don't know how or why I drew them. I was just, and these are pretty old as well. So this next one here, again practicing, but I think I took this from a reference on Pinterest as well. Usually you can tell when I take something from, not take, but when I grab like you can tell when I grab like when it's a reference when you see me just go straight into the sketch, right? So when you see me go straight into the sketch, that's usually I'm usually looking off of reference. When you see me building a skeleton, then I'm not always not using a reference, but I'm not using a reference most of the time. I think there's like very, very few times where I've done it and I was not using, or I was using a reference to do those. But normally, if I'm like something like that previous sketch, that was a reference. And once I do stuff like that, it's most of the time going to be based off references. Just because they're easier for me to kind of pump out a lot of these sketches for you guys. Uh, what was this? I think it was just practicing drawing. Oh yeah, 45-degree angle. Did I even draw the hair here? Nope, I did not. Uh, that hair. I wish I would have kept it on him. I think I was yeah, I think I was getting overwhelmed with the hair. And I wanted to practice that eye because I'm pretty sure the eyes are where I'm messing up at. Not really, because it seemed like it was the forehead for that one. The same problem. Another face sketch of a creature with horns, and yeah, I have no idea. It's interesting. A lot of these sketches do end up coming out looking relatively the same, but you can also tell like the evolution between like some of these sketches and other sketches. Like if you look at these compared to some of the newer ones that I've been drawing, you'll notice that the colors and stuff like that are a lot more simple, but they also carry like I think a lot of the newer ones carry more weight to them versus these. I think these are cleaner, but they don't carry that kind of uh, current style. So after a year or a couple months, you see like a big style difference. I'm pretty sure it's about a year now. No, as of recording. I know I'm just yapping. This is just giving me an excuse to yap for an hour and a half. This is the Madman. So another sketch of one of my OCs. Well, they're all my OCs, and they all have like little backstories anyway. I just don't talk about most of their backstories. I should probably start doing that though. But I think for me, it's like I'll write something. I think my biggest fear is I'll write something and then I'll write something about that same character, but forget that I wrote something about that character. So, but I probably need to get over it. This was a practice sketch of like panels or the paneling kind of that they do with manhwas, where they kind of do those close ups. I was kind of practicing using my own OCs. I don't really think I like this one too much. Um, I don't think I lined up everything properly. But not like I mentioned before, or I mention all the time, not everything can be 100%, 100% of the time. Sometimes you draw and you just draw bullshit. This is one of those sketches that pops up a lot in my head. I don't know why. I think it's the colors that I choose for this one. I really did like it a lot. And it's really, really clean, like surprisingly clean. That red and purple came out so nice. And I think there's another one just like this one. I got this one confused with the other blue one from earlier. But I like these little weird creature things that I draw. This is another traditional piece. I'm pretty sure this is not, it looks like it, but no, okay. This is a Madman piece. I don't know where this reference came from. I don't even know if I used a reference for this. I don't think I did because he doesn't have a nose here. And he does have a nose, but I don't know. Some of the sketches have him with a nose and others don't. I'm not sure where this reference came from though. Yeah. This was a reference photo, but I don't know from what character. Maybe a JJK character. Maybe. Um, but I think I used it as a loose reference. Um, I'm not 100% sure, but I really did like the way the earrings, or I think it was the neck area, and then I just built off of that. The actual character design, it doesn't look anything like the reference I used, I'm pretty sure. This was a reference photo as well. Obviously, I changed it drastically, right? The hair, I don't think, was the same. The earrings weren't the same at all as well. Also, guys, please bear with me if some of the editing on the videos is a little wonky. Just just because um, there's so many videos that, like, at least because I'm using CapCut to kind of edit these, I can't really, pay attention to so many of the sketches because there's just 200 of them here. And the editing that I've done for like one half of this versus the other half is kind of all over the place. For instance, this is one of those times right here where I recorded it using a specific app on the phone, whereas some of the other sketches, let's see, this next video here that'll pop up. I really like that sketch though. But something like this that is screen recorded from the actual app, the High Paint app. So those are like two different ways for these videos to kind of come together and separate. Recently, I've done more just the high paint, so I didn't have to keep popping back and forth. This was a fun sketch. It's based on a reference. Don't recall what the reference was, but it was a fun little doodle that I did for that. And I think this next one is not based on that one either, but it was also fun to draw. I think this was Zorro, but I'm not 100% sure. No, I don't think so. No, actually, I think I made this one up for this. So yeah, and I think that's why the bottom portion is cut off because I didn't know how I was gonna play with that a little bit. As you can see, I didn't draw the other hand or anything like that. This was pretty bad comparable to the last one there. Uh, this one is actually a reference photo of some Mirum manhwa. It was fun to draw. I really liked it a lot. One thing that I really liked about it is the simplicity of the way the artist kind of drew the character and kept the shapes and everything. That's something that I've been trying to kind of really, really hone in on, especially when I first drew this one. Um, because drawing simple, like drawing characters simply, is really hard. Like you want to draw something, you want to overdraw so much, and sometimes it just gets to the point where you can get like a little bit overwhelmed with like drawing really, really detailed things. But then obviously you have to like pull back and realize, hey, you don't need to do all that. You can make it simple, do simple highlights and simple shades, and you can still get like a really good result You just have to change just a little bit of it, right? So later on, I'm not sure if I've done it here, but later on you'll see me start using gradients rather than um, going in and shading it every single time. This was a reference. I completely forgot where I got it from. So one thing that like I think is really good with me as an artist, especially like with people who watch all my stuff, is I'll never tell you guys that like if I used or didn't use a reference or anything like that, right? Like if you guys see it, I'll engage with you, especially if you be like, oh, I seen this somewhere, and be like, oh yeah, I took the reference from like this on Pinterest or whatever. Just because I don't think it's that big of a deal to use references and stuff like that. Actually, you want to learn how to draw, you have to use references, especially if you want to learn how to like the way things work. You got to draw everything. Anything you've seen, you have to draw that. You have to know how to draw everything from the real world to like anything that you really enjoy and stuff like that. But you also have to make sure you're appropriately doing it, right? Just copying is not helping you. You have to know why you're copying it, right? What does this one image tell you, or what do you need to learn to get the same effect, and so on and so forth. So this was another reference, I believe, but I think it was just the bottom half of the body. The reference was just like, I don't even think it was close. This is a Zorro reference here. Um, I don't know what chapter it was, but it was kind of one of the ending chapters. One thing that I think Oda does really well is the way he makes everything messy, but still look uh, like you can tell what he's drawing. That's such a cool artist thing to do. I don't think I have the skill for that. Him and Gege Akutami, I feel like they do it really, really well. But my skills are nowhere near that just yet. Because I can't. My brain, like I mentioned before, my brain wants to like kind of give as much detail as possible, but it just can't not do that, right? But I wish I could, man. Their pieces look so really cool. All their paneling and everything, even with Gege's, the way that he draws a lot of his volume covers, so cool, man. I also feel like Akira Toriyama does the same thing, but I feel like Akira Toriyama is more close to like the way that I draw, where he likes to do everything clean and detailed. You know what everything is, so I think that's kind of more close resemble my styles. Mind you, I practice his work a lot. Um, so this is obviously just an hour of me yapping, but there is actually one thing that was interesting to me that I kind of had to make a rule about it is like critiquing artists and stuff like that. Um, I don't care if you guys, give me, tell me that you don't like one of my pieces because of whatever, right? Matter of fact, that's fine. Do that all you want. Honestly, I feel like that's cool, right? Like if you tell me, oh, you know, the colors, I don't like them. That's fine, right? Because cool. You don't like the colors? I do. I don't care. But the criticism, like the unsolicited criticism of like, oh, especially on sketches as well, like that's one of the major things that kind of like ticks me off because it's like this is a sketch. This is not even finished. Like, calm down. Um, like those are the ones that kind of get me. I'm like, you do realize I'm not even trying right now. These sketches take like 5 minutes, not even. So calm down. And those are the ones that I'm like, ah, fuck off. But then the other ones were like, ah, it was all good until the color, and it's like I'm fine with those because it's like yeah, everybody got their own taste. I like my extravagant color choices. I think that they're really cool. I know this video is going to be extremely long, so let's just buy our time here. Hopefully you guys just have me playing in the background. Um, so I guess I'll just talk about the sketches and whatever comes to mind. I know this is like 40 minutes in and now I'm talking like that. This was a reference. I really had fun with this one as well. The colors really pulled this together in my opinion. Um, so yeah, But back to criticism and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you want to criticize like different aspects of like colors and stuff like that. I'm not criticizing, but give me your opinion and your taste on what you like or what you dislike about the pictures. Then that's fine. But being like, oh, his arm is not supposed to be like this. Oh, you should do anatomy, and it's like, bro, what are you talking about? I know how to draw. These are all my images. These are all things that I've created, right? Like, these are from my brain. If I want to draw other things like realistic and stuff like that, I can, but that's boring. I want to draw what I want to draw. Um, and I want to draw this crazy shit that people don't get because it's cool and I like it. So I guess we still got a lot of time left. So I guess I'll just talk about kind of where we're at with the Evo report and stuff like that. Right now, I've just been really busy and I haven't had much time, personal stuff. So I haven't had a lot of time to actually sit down and focus on a lot of the things that I want to focus on. Um, so it's gonna take some time, maybe another year or so, especially with making videos and school and stuff like that. So please bear with me and continue to support as much as you guys can. I don't know any of your guys' situation or anything like that, but I sell stickers and t-shirts. So if you guys want to support, that really helps. And now if you really want to support, then play this video in the background for like 10 hours so that I can get into the YouTube program. That would be amazing, right? It'd be a huge help. But yeah, not holding my tongue for that one. That one's a really hard one to do. Yeah, because I think well, now I have to do 4,000 hours in a year, but it looks like next year we might have to do 8,000 hours within a year, which kind of puts me at a disadvantage here. So I mean, mind you, this is not the main thing. This is just to kind of support my other ventures. So if you guys see any like sketches or pieces that you're like, yo, I want this on a t-shirt, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to put the create those t-shirts for you guys. Right now we only have like 4 up because I don't want to kind of give you guys a whole bunch of choices and not know which one to pick. But there's a lot of pump covers and just stickers and those little pins and stuff like that. So this sketch here was actually a reference photo used from Yuta from JJK. And you guys will see, like, I use a lot of like my favorite artists as references, just because I feel like learning from the people that you admire is very helpful. And like not like obviously copying, but using them as references. This was a Pinterest piece. I really like this one a lot too. Um, this is when I was kind of hopping on the trend of, not the trend, but for me it was a trend at the time. Um, like using backgrounds and the colors and kind of drawing in like really really hyper detailed things for something that wasn't going to be that detailed at all in the long run. This dude came out really cool though. I really like this one. I really like the background, and obviously I like all the additions that I added with the highlights and stuff like that. Um, and I keep saying but I can't help it. This is a long video and I'm recording 40 minutes already. This was also a reference of this was actually a reference of a real person shooting a bow. And I just grabbed him, and I think it was a girl, but I did think it was really cool. And I think here I actually did mess up, and somebody kind of said you forgot the string, and I did forget the string, but also I didn't because they are not pulling any string. They're imaginary, like not really. There's a string is not needed here because it's not physical. There's no physicality to it. It's just magic. So although I did forget the string, I think that the reason I forgot the string is because there wasn't supposed to be a string there anyway. At least I think that was my thought process at the time. Because I don't really forget stuff like that usually. This was another reference, and after I used this reference, I started seeing that image everywhere. And I think it's like people using it as a reference of a reference of a reference. This pose at least. So, but it was cool. I liked it. Had fun drawing it. This was another cool reference photo. It was from JJK, the grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, or not the grandfather, Maki's father. I do think that's interesting that I'm able to like look at an image and be like, oh, this is from this is from that, because I remember what references I use based off them, and I remember like what references come from where. So, but this was a fun one. I think I really want to just stop doing color and get really really good at like just line work. But I've been trying to do traditional, and it's just been fun. Like I like traditional a lot, but I can see why a lot of people might not like the colors that I use and stuff like that. But like I said, I like it. So you guys probably didn't notice, but it was an entire day later after that last recording. My voice probably sounds a little bit different, but I'm back here, and yeah, I don't know what I was talking about in the previous section, but it was something about the color and me enjoying that. Sorry, guys. Um, so I don't know what to say. I mean, this was a pretty cool reference photo that I picked up. This next one was the same thing. I don't really like this pose. I don't know why I kept like I used it and kept drawing it. I think that was one of those things. This right here is kind of one of those instances where I invested too much into the initial sketch, and I didn't feel like throwing it away. And you'll see that a lot here where the base sketch is not that good, and it doesn't need to be colored. And then I just force myself to color it because of content or whatever. But recently, at least, 100 and something videos later, I realized, you know what, if the sketch is bad and you don't really like it, just throw the sketch away. Keep the video obviously, because and obviously keep the line work or the rough sketch, but just toss the idea away. And if if I find out like, oh, I want to do this, then I'll do it later. But because I was wasting a lot of time. Like this is another one where it's like it's cool, but I just don't really like these pieces. Um, not as much as like not as much as like the amount of time that I actually spent on the pieces. Like it's like wow, I really don't like this. This one is different, right? I really do enjoy this piece. Um, and I had fun doing this one, especially with the colors. And um, so yeah, just not much to say about it. Just it's another reference photo, some random fan art I think somebody drew on Pinterest. So, and a lot of my references, side note, I know I'm just jumping from topic to topic, but a lot of my references do come from Pinterest. So you guys will probably see a lot of similar poses on Pinterest from here and there. I think somebody mentioned in a video saying like you should stop using Pinterest to draw your references because everyone knows where you got those references from, because it's really relatively limited in terms of what Pinterest can give you, and a lot of people want these more dynamic poses and stuff like that, which yeah, I get it. Actually, I think here somewhere you guys will actually see a reference of me. So I take reference photos of myself sometimes. I take a lot of reference photos of myself, but there are some reference photos that I take, and I'll use those just in case I need them or something like that. And I've been meaning to actually do that because at least for like pants and stuff, the type of pants that I want to draw, they're relatively hard, or the type of angles that I want to draw my pants in, those those angles don't exist for. At least I have been having trouble trying to find them. They don't exist for anywhere normal like Pinterest. But yeah, because like the creasing on like baggy pants where there's no taper at the bottom, or there is a taper, but the taper is like for instance this one, right? I like these pants in this image, but if I had looked at an image for these pants, they would have came out a lot better. This was also a reference photo. And again, when I say that I'm using references, it is relatively loose references. You could overlap these images and probably not find any like corresponding line because like I said, it's all loose base. I'm going based on like what the fabric should be doing and what I believe the fabric looks like rather than what it is actually looking like. That's like something you'll learn, at least from an artist perspective, you'll learn that in like high school classes. Well, no, actually in high school, yeah, let me bite my tongue there. In high school classes, they'll teach you draw what you see, not what you know. But eventually, you'll get like really good at drawing that you'll have to start drawing what you know and not what you see. Because drawing what you see, you're just essentially copying, the image versus drawing what you know. That kind of changes it from what you're seeing to what the image is gonna look like. So, and that's how you kind of like, that's the next evolution of being an artist is, that's why I was telling you guys when drawing anatomy and stuff like that, or learning how to draw in general, copy everything. Look at the most mundane things you guys can find and copy it. Whether you're using color, it doesn't matter. Just copy every single thing you can. Look at a still frame on an anime, or look at a panel on a manga or a manhwa, and just copy it, colors and everything. And eventually, your brain is gonna be able to connect the the dots, right? But you have to put in the work to copy. And I know artists will tell you, "Oh, don't copy." No, copy. Fuck all those artists. Excuse my language, but fuck that is my account. Um, I got me on a rant right now. But yeah, don't listen to nobody. If you want to be an artist, you have to copy. Now, this is not to say, again, I mentioned this in so many videos before. It is not to say just steal people's work and claim it as your own, but you're going to have to like copy every single thing that you enjoy if you especially want to draw like those people, right? You guys will see me draw from here and there like Gege Akutami's work, or who else? Akira Toriyama, or there was another artist. Oh, Oda. And out of all those, I want to draw like them, right? But out of all of them, the closest one that I think that I'm like relatively close to in terms of like imagination, yeah, from an imagination wise, is like Akira Toriyama. I can't get down the the style that Gege has because I'm too perfectionist, or even the style like Oda as well, because I'm such a perfectionist that I want to see what I'm drawing. Like I want to know what every single line represents. And with Oda and Gege, it doesn't seem like they do that too much. They focus on what it feels like the object is. But I kind of want to learn like how to change my brain chemistry to start thinking like that. Like instead of thinking of what things are, things about think about what things make you feel in the image. So hopefully I can do that this next year or so. And so another update here is after this video is published, I will be working. Well, I'm already working on it, but I'll be in the middle of working on 2 year. I've been drawing for 2 years, right? And after that video is published, and I'll keep you guys updated on like during that video. I don't think I'm gonna do. I've been drawing for 3 years. Um, so that type of video kind of takes a lot out of you. I will be drawing no matter what because obviously it's one of my jobs. But I will also like I kind of want to take a step back because a lot of the works for me drawing for 2 years are just me drawing to draw and not me drawing things that I actually want to draw. So I'll still be drawing and I guess this is maybe my fault. It's not necessarily the fault of like you guys or anything like that, or even content creation. It's just the fact of like I want to take a break from like drawing every single day, and probably draw like, you know, anything I want. And I also gotta finish up some sketchbooks because I've been so focused on digital work that I don't even think I've filled up even half of one of my new sketchbooks. So I kind of also want to start pushing that out as well. So who knows though? Maybe I'll do another, I drew for another year or whatever, but I don't plan on like actually forcing myself to draw for 2 years straight, or a third year, because 2 years is a lot. So yeah, but I think I'll probably draw even more. So I think with taking a step back from drawing every single day to drawing like maybe every other day or something like that, I think I'll probably knock out a lot more pieces overall, simply because I have this incessive need to draw. And hopefully you guys enjoy these videos, but also like, well, I know some of you actually like these long form videos, and if you do, please drop a like and let me know in the comments. Communicate and comment on these videos. Let me know what you guys want to know about. If you guys have a specific question on any of these sketches here, make sure timestamp it so I can go through and look at it and answer in the comments. Why did I choose certain colors. Most of the time, I'll tell you guys right now, the reason that I do pick a lot of the colors that I pick, I don't think I mentioned it, but it's because um, a lot of color and color theory and stuff like that are just based on like perceived rules, but they're not really the rules of like reality, right? And so I try to like break that because I know what color theory is, and as much as I know about color theory, I kind of don't like these stringent rules when it comes to coloring my characters, right? Because my characters aren't based in reality. You don't look at art because you want to have reality push into your art. You want, at least me, I want art to be ethereal. I want that shit to smack me in the face of things that I've never seen before. And I hope that that's something that can be shown through a lot of my work, right? Like, so many of my characters have masks, but a lot of my characters also have faces. A lot of them have flowy hair and or anime style hair, and it kind of insinuates of like me living in the era of pop, these colorful pop anime type things, and then utilizing that in kind of like a newish style, right? Like that's another thing too. Maybe I'm trying to force it here, but in the future, I would want my work to be looked at as like, oh, the Semo esque style, right? The same way like the some people have these styles that are tied to them. Like it's the same thing for me, right? I want people to look at my work and be like, this kind of like poppy color, this color pop with like dark imagery and stuff like that. I want people to like, oh, that's Semo's work, or it's inspired by Semo's work or something like that. I think that's really cool. Now, am I going out of my way to do that? No, because I just really like my style and I like this style and everything with it. So it's not, I'm not doing it on purpose. But if it happens, that would be, I would view that as like success, right? And I know I just ramble here for this video, but there's not much of a topic that I can talk about for an hour and 30 minutes. Um, right, well, an hour and 38 minutes. So this was another reference photo that I used. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Oh, well, I think this was one of those practices where I wanted to see if I can create a character with minimal kind of anatomy showing. I think I did a good job, especially with the legs there. This one, again, another reference photo here, which I think I kind of took the pants and the top portion, but I think that's about it. The hand didn't come out nearly as good as, no, the hand came out fine. I think, actually, I don't even think there's anything I can find wrong with this. I think maybe the length of the arms might be a little bit off. But yeah. Oh no, I think it's the never mind. I see it now. It's the perspective from the back leg and the front leg. I could have done better. I think going through these videos like this is actually helpful as well because now looking from like these videos, because for you guys, you might be seeing these videos and think that I drew these videos like last month, but it's like, no, these videos are roughly a year. Some of them are roughly like a year old. So these videos came out like in 2025 and we're already in 2026. So a lot of the videos that you guys are seeing on the channel now are newer than these videos. And I mean, even then, some of the videos you guys are seeing now are like 2 or 3 years older than, when I published them because I'm just reposting stuff. Because when you have over 600 videos or shorts, you can realistically post a shit ton of them. So yes, some of those videos will be, some of those videos you guys see are reposts, but also because we actually grew and thank you for every subscriber we have, but we actually did grow a good amount in the last 2 years or year and a half, and it's all thanks to you guys. So some newer people might have not seen like a lot of my earlier works. Um, so I always think that's helpful. And sometimes people just miss videos and stuff like that. So it's not, it's not a big deal, I don't think. But I'll probably, after this video is uploaded, I was thinking about starting to like push more than 3 videos, but having a lot of the other videos be, more repost, like more focused on them being reposts and stuff like that. So this was another reference. I know I probably skipped over like 4 videos here that were all references, but they were most of them were references. This was a reference of a character's back. The reference that I used didn't have the proper anatomy for the back though. I don't even think what I drew there was the proper anatomy for back. And I'm really stringent on like how muscles move and stuff like that. So me seeing that, it was close, but it wasn't 1 to 1 of what it should have been. I added a little small diamond in the back area, which that doesn't exist on uh, the back muscles like that. Like the back was kind of like iffy, but it's because the reference photo I used was also relatively iffy. Um, I try not to use AI images, but sometimes if I'm just going through something and I see something that I like, especially on Pinterest, because Pinterest doesn't always tell you whatever every single image that's AI, it just tells you which one was like may have had AI in it. So I do try my best to like stay away from it, but sometimes things slip through and I'm not like really thinking. I'm just like, oh, inspiration, and I just draw it from there. Especially trying to come up with so many videos for you guys. But that's me problem, not yours. This was a reference from, I believe it was a manhwa, but the reference photo for the manhwa came from Pinterest as well. And we have like, what, 30 minutes or 38 minutes? Again? No, 40 minutes. This is the Madman. Again, this was actually a reference as well. However, not to the extent, like again, if you go and try to find this image, you're not gonna find a 1 to 1 here. So the original image didn't have like these highlights, I don't believe, and I did like this sloppy sketch around it. This is one of my favorite images. I really like this one. I'm thinking about redoing it and making it into a print, but like a high res print. That's how much I love that image. This is so I was about to spoil it, but you know what? I think his name is fine. This is Sardimus. So this is number 1. So every time you guys see a character with those lines in front of his head and he's green, his name officially is Sardimus, and he is designated as number 1 in the you guys seen, if you've seen the community post. But yeah, he's one of the 12 main characters of the Evo storyline. Actually, just a quick lore dump here. I don't know if this will probably, whoever's watching, if you might be the only person who actually seen this video all the way through. But if you have seen this video all the way through, this is a little bit tidbit on lore. So Sardimus is the owner or the CEO of the company that wrote Evil Report. So, if you guys haven't read Evil Report, I would say go read Evil Report. But obviously, Evil Report is a report on the world of Evo, right? Uh, and so, as it's a report on Evo, who is the company or who is the corporation that is writing the actual report? Well, that's I'm not gonna say what it is now because that's a kind of a spoiler. But the person who owns that company is Sardimus, right? The Madman, I can't give his identity just yet because his story is still far out. But I think his story is gonna kind of mesh in with the normal Evo. You guys are not supposed to know who he is until later, anyway. This was just kind of another sketch. I want to redo this one though, and kind of take some of the things from here, put that arm in a different position, and then do the same thing with the Evo and everything, but make it so it's like a cover for like a book or something. I think that was really cool. This was me drawing, and this is another thing that I started doing recently. I think this was one of the first indications that I was doing this, grabbing like a character that I did a full body for, especially a character that I really like drawing, and then adding that character either close up or in a different in a different way, right? So different posing for that character, and I might touch on that character later on as well. Might do them doing like a action or something like in a pose. Yeah, because it's relatively not early, but I haven't drawn today yet, so I still have to do that. This is another one for the Madman. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have read Evil Report, anybody, you can find it free on my on any of the things that are by Semoske. Especially, I think right now the entire book is available um on my Substack, and you can read the entire thing there. But the Madman is the character with that. Those are the same Madmans. So the Madmans you guys see me drawing here is the exact same one that you guys are reading about in the book, or at least in the beginning of the book. Is he gonna pop up in later installments? Who knows? The world of Evo is chaotic and doesn't follow a singular path because it's not supposed to. I just dumped like so much lore on you guys, but from the background. Not It's not necessarily a lot. I don't think. Nothing that'll give anything away. Someone asked me about this character, and I found it funny because yes, this is another character who, this character in particular, resides in the void, and he's just a goofy little guy who pops around everywhere all randomly. With how much I actually talked in this video, I'd be so not upset, but be disappointed if it doesn't get many views because I do spend a lot of time kind of doing these voiceovers for you guys. So it's kind of sad when none of these, like not a lot of these videos do that well, because not many people want to watch a 2 hour and a half long video of me talking shit and looking at me sketch out these videos and just talk loosely about them. This character is actually just another side note. This is number 3. So anytime you see this character, and he is based on Toto from JJK. So just FY. Now his personality isn't based on it, just his physicalness is based on it. So that is number 3, Mekkel. If I'm no, not Mekkel, somebody else. I forgot his name, or he might be Mekkel. Um, This character right here is number 7, if I'm not mistaken, or I think he's number 7. So the character where you can't see his eye, he has blonde hair and he is green. Yes, he's number 7. This is just another random character from the Void. And again, guys, if you hear me mentioning the Void and evil, right? Those two worlds are different. Like, okay, the best way I could put it is the void exists within the world of evil, right? That's how this works. Evil report is a report that is talking about a study, or not a study, about updates on archaeological finds in the world of evil. So that's the whole premise there. Again, a little bit of a lore dump for whoever stood by and watched for 65 minutes. Matter of fact, let's do this. If you've gotten to this point in the video, drop a timestamp of your favorite sketch up until this point. Or just tell me about, your favorite sketch here. Which ones do you like, and stuff like that. If you've made it this far into the video, which I'm pretty sure like no one is going to make it this far, but you never know. Somebody might. If you do, thank you for watching. I really, really do appreciate you, especially for the amount of time that I spent on these videos. But yeah, this was a cool little sketch I did. I think I did this sketch first and then the other one second. I'm not too, if I'm, well, depends on where they pop up from. This was another one too that I really enjoyed. I think I drew these two first and then their actual body sketches second, or I could be off. Actually, I think I drew their bodies first and colored them in, and then I did these second. But because I didn't color the bodies until later, they were there. But those two were one of more fun characters to draw. This was based on, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce it right, but the character from Gakuachua, Gakuachua, I don't know how to say it. But it's that one manga that is really, really fun. And yeah, I just grabbed that character and drew my character off of, the reference photo. I don't really like it all like that. Another reference photo here, which again, fun, but also, yeah. Like I said, if I had it my way, I probably wouldn't be posting some of these just because I think they're boring for the most part. Like I think overall sketching aspect is boring, but which I should have probably dropped it, but yeah, I really enjoyed it anyway. And these were ones, the sketch coming up is a sketch that like I really didn't like, so I'm glad that I dropped it and didn't color it, because it is, I had the color, like I colored it actually, but I was not gonna post it because it was just so dog shit. And that actually does end up happening. That rarely happens. I think this was probably the only time that I actually didn't color, or I didn't post a coloring of one of my characters that I did. Because usually I just post all the bullshit. I want you guys to see everything, but that one was too bad. You'll probably see it when I do the 2-year video. And I'll probably talk about it too. So, and I mentioned before, so that character with the red is Sace, and this character right here is number 8. I forgot, I think they're number 8. I could be wrong. Or no, not number 8. I think they're number 4. So any character with green and kind of reddish hair is number 4. And that was based on a reference as well. This is another kind of weird sketch that I'm like, I'm gonna toss this because it just looks too bad. I was having a hard time drawing, not like a hard time because this was based on a reference. I had a hard time visioning what I wanted to draw from him. This character is I think this character is number 8. So any bald character, that's not any bald character, but that's number 8. And that is a girl. So just so you guys know. But it is a female. They go by they, them. So for future references, if anybody cares, that's a they, them character. And you guys will figure out in the future why I did that. But they still, are a female. This was the Madman again. I use a reference. I really forgot what reference I used for this one, but I like to grab my main characters and just toss them into references to see how they would look in certain situations. But I've been doing this since I even created the Madman. there's so many like earlier sketches of him like in a samurai uniform, in a like dressed up in a kind of like professionally, right? I really like doing that for my characters. So this character here is a reference. This character was supposed to be one of the 12, but I was bored and didn't want to finish it. And I also didn't color her either. Which again, it's like once I get bored with a kind of concept of a sketch, if I really don't want to color it, I'm just gonna toss it. This is where I started to kind of get to that habit of like, if I don't like it, I'm just gonna toss it. Because sometimes you don't gotta finish every single sketch. It took me, I mean, it took me a while, but at least from a digital perspective, it did take a little bit longer to be like, just give up on the sketch, dude. It's too boring. Right now, I'm only gonna be sketching things that I want to sketch or color, not just sketch. This was fun sketch, but this part right here kind of ruined it, and it just wasn't good. So I tossed it as well. I didn't color him. I don't think so at all. Right there, that little thing, that was all the 12 in one position. But you guys can see that actually in the community post as well. So this one I believe is number 11 if I'm not mistaken. And they are tatted up, and they are women, they are female. However, um they they go by she her. um but I'm having trouble kind of drawing her in thing, because it's hard to draw bald women to look like women sometimes. At least for me, I'm having trouble with it. And like I need to start like practicing, because the whole thing about her is that she is bald, right? And she has tattoos all over her body. So that's kind of like one of the major things there. And if you guys are curious too, she wasn't intended to be a woman, but like her initial sketch from like years ago, she wasn't intentionally to be a woman. She was supposed to be a man. But realizing that I kind of outweighed the men and the woman in the whole thing, I kind of decided to turn her into a woman, because her gender doesn't necessarily impact the story as much as a lot of the other characters do. Um, but because of that, because me going through it and realizing, you know what, actually, I'll make it so that her kind of identity is really like, you're not gonna really care that she's a woman, but she's gonna act like a woman, and that's one thing that I want for her when I'm drawing her out. Because I think she also has like pretty bad story, tragic, right? Well, all of them do, but some of them might be worse than others for some people. This I was just sketching hands. Again, people might ask, "Oh, how do you draw hands so well?" Practice, and I also look at my hands a lot. I draw my hands. A lot of those images are probably just references from my hands. Have you guys noticed that sometimes you'll see like me take the hands and like stretch them, like I'll sketch them on the side and then cut it out and then post it next to the image? That is probably because I'm like, oh, I don't know how to draw this hand in this kind of in this way. So I'll take a pic. So I won't take a picture. I'll actually draw it out and then reverse it. Like I'll draw out my left hand uh, uh, in that specific way, and then draw that out and then flip it and try to make it fit. That's why some hands that I draw look really, really good in comparison to others. Because the other ones, I'm like, oh, I don't even care. I'm just sketching them out. While other ones, I'm like, let me do a little bit more detail here. But I really like drawing hands anyway, so I need to draw more hands, honestly. I think I talked about this before in a previous video, one of them, not too sure. But drawing hands, for me, it's the simplicity that sucks. Drawing simple hands suck, drawing detail hands works. This was a reference used by some guy stretching in the gym. There was actually other references that referenced that photo, which was pretty cool as well. I'm gonna say here, if you watch this video, fuck Trump and fuck anyone who supports him, blah blah blah. I was feeling a little bit, rebellious. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting tired of this. Let me post this out. Um, and you can't make him look too good. So I drew this like that, and then grabbed that big stamp and stamped it on his head for those files. I don't know why it cut off there, but it says, you know what it says. As an artist, you owe society. I don't think you owe society anything, but as an artist, you need to sometimes draw something to kind of get that frustration out that you yourself may feel, right? Or even from what you see other people feeling. Sometimes you have to get that out. You have to put that out there. There's another one that I'm not going to post at all because I think it, not for him, it's somebody else, another billionaire person who I drew it and I'm like, I don't know if I should post this. Especially because remember, guys, this is a business. So, even with that photo, do I really care? Not really, but it could hurt me in the future. So, or it could hurt the business depending on the situation. I don't want to hyper rely on trying to tear down other individuals who are not supposed to be good people anyway, right? But that video is like, I don't care. People need to know that I don't like him. Yeah, if you're an artist also, you are political. So for anybody who's relatively young, um art is political. Everything that you guys see me drawing, there is politics connected to it. Just because the politics aren't necessarily right in your face, all my pieces have some political storytelling to them. I'm not telling those stories because you're supposed to look at the image and kind of come up with your own interpretation until the story comes out, and then, that's whatever. But yeah, art is political. It's inherently political. I can go on a big rant even more on like every piece and why it's connected to politics, at least of mine, and you guys would probably get sick and tired of me. Let me just say there's a reason why I tend to draw like a lot of characters with horns, and why I draw like my characters so colorful, right? There's a reason for that. And the reason, I'm just going to hop into it now. But the reason for that is because, again, clashing things that we historically, especially in society, have seen to be macabre in nature, and in kind of putting color, like bright colors, and kind of fantastic colors like purples and pinks and light reds rather than so many dark colors. It kind of like makes you question, reality, right? Kind of makes you question, is everything as dark as it appears in the real world? And sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes the things that look the most hideous in the real world are the things that are um, the most colorful, right? Not everything that is dark and what we would deem as evil is necessarily dark and evil. And again, that's just politics, right? So this was actually, I was drawing Maki here. It's having real fun. I actually came up with this entire reference. So this is how, like, me as an artist, like if I really took my time making something, I could come up with something like this. This entire reference was based on me. I drew it from the specifically like from her pose and everything. I drew everything there. So that was fun. I really like that. Those are the type of things that I like to do if I like draw fan art and stuff like that. Is stuff like that. I don't really like just copying things for the most part. Or at least when it comes to fan art, right? This was I think this was another throwaway. I don't even remember coloring this character. I don't think I did. I think I was going to, but I was like, let me toss it. I was practicing some folds here. So with folds, it's kind of difficult because you want to kind of make it, again, my biggest problem when it comes to art is making things way more complicated than they should be, because I want to give more details to everything, but I know I shouldn't. This was another reference being used here. I don't recall who it was, but it was some reference I found on Pinterest, I believe, and then I just colored it in for Seis. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this either, but Seis is six, so his name literally means six in Spanish, and so his number is six. I don't think I've ever even confirmed that he was part of the 12, but yes, he is six. He is number six, and his name is Seis, which is six in Spanish. Again, just to reiterate that yes, he is one of them. He is one of my favorite characters to draw, which is why you guys see a lot of him as well. The other one is number 12. His name is Obi. You guys will see him. He's the pink guy with a low cut. So yeah, he'll probably pop up here. This was one of those images that I probably should have not finished drawing because it came out so dog shit in my opinion. For this one, I was getting back into like my older sketches, which is grabbing like this reference from a skull and then coming in and just going crazy on the colors and everything like that. I like this one though. I had fun. Not too. I just wanted to kind of draw here. But this is what I talk about when I say like earlier when I was talking about being forced to draw and stuff like that. Well, that was one of them. So you guys seen the colored version of this? Or you didn't see this version. This was really fun. It was a reference, but I should have done better there. I don't know why the other one was not finished. I think there was two videos like that. Oh no, the next video is coming up here. Oh, but that's gonna be his body, his face. So this was another bad image. Sometimes I look at these and I'm like, they're not bad per se, but like compare these to like 98% of the images that I draw, they're not that good in comparison. So, but this was me drawing that character's head. Again, this is one of those things that I want to kind of keep doing is when I find a character that like a character design that I really like, I want to kind of draw them in different forms and doing different things because I think it's cool. I don't even know the story about this character, but I gotta come up with one because he's one of my favorite looking characters here. This was another image that I'm like, I shouldn't have finished this because it's so stupid. I was having trouble with the perspective of it in terms of like his head inside the hoodie. I should have made the hoodie more baggier and on top of it more. So this image here was something that I tossed, but I have no reason. I don't know why. I really want to go back and finish this one, but I lost the file or I deleted it. I only have the line work for it, but I'll probably go back and redo it. This was me practicing more of the kind of close-up face, but also in with a background and kind of making it somewhat realistic. This is actually a original idea, so everything here was me just going based off imagination. I really like it. It came out good. I feel like this could be in a comic or something. I really like my style. I know a lot of people probably don't, but I don't care. No, for some reason that video cut short too because there was a background connected to it. This was another image that I kind of tossed. Honestly, I don't know why some of these are like extremely long. Like this shouldn't be as long as it is. It's like 30 something seconds. And it was just a throwaway sketch anyway. So yeah, this was not completed and is not going to be. Sometimes you guys, again, I mentioned it before, but sometimes I'm just tossing images here and there, especially towards this later end of these 200 videos. I just started tossing images every which way. I think there's even images here that I don't even remember drawing, but they were because I kind of store them on the back burner after I do line work or like rough drafts. And if I look through it and I'm like, I don't like it, I just toss it. Again, I just mentioned that earlier, but it's been like a day or 2 days since I talked about this. These videos kind of take a while because they're so long. I really don't like this image, but I want to pause here, and, or not pause, but I want to talk about this aspect specifically on this video. Somebody was telling me that the kick doesn't make sense because his foot on the bottom portion is backwards. So, although I agree, if the kick wasn't what the kick is, the kick is that top leg is supposed to be twisted a little bit more. So that was my perception, like my perspective flaw there, where I didn't draw the top leg being twisted with the hip, but the image itself is correct, right? That leg is supposed to be pointed to the back. As a person who, does a lot of combat, or used to do a lot of combat stuff, I know that that's the right kick. It's just my perspective on that top leg was done incorrectly. That last image and this one were reference based, and I did have a lot of fun drawing them, especially the forced perspective on that other image. This is kind of like a weird problem with these types of videos, is that the shorts go so fast that it's hard to keep up with, every single little thing I want to talk about without having to like actually stop the video and add in an extra couple minutes to it every single time. This was just a random image, not a random. I used a reference for this one, to as simple as it is. It was a good reference on Pinterest. I wish I could actually, well, no, because however many images I draw, it would be hard. I'd be hard pressed to find every single image I use as a reference, because there's some images that look really, really close to what reference I use, but they're not quite. Matter of fact, the Vegeta one, I don't even know how I found that image, because it was a flipped image of the one that I actually used. So I don't know, if I did that or something. This is another piece that I should have given up on when I first drew it. This was, again, a reference being used here, but it's so dog shit. But again, you can't be a good artist if you can't draw dog shit stuff sometimes. I don't like the way the clothes fit on him, and I don't like the way his head looks. So bad. I do like that little slash there that I did though. So this is number 2. Her name is Dima. She is one of the main 12. And she's pretty cool. She is deeply, deeply in love with number 1, Sardimus. And that's a little bit lore drop for you guys. Which, whatever, for whatever reason. So this was a reference photo used, and then I just added my main character that you guys see on my, kind of avatar. I don't even know what he is or who he is. He doesn't have any lore to him just yet. I mean, I don't think so. He probably does, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I use a reference for this. The character was actually a lot thinner than the one that I chose here, but I really liked to draw that. That was a female character, more robust. This is actually number 9, or number 11. No, I think this is number 9, because they changed their face here. Yeah, number 9 is the one with the tattoos. But this one was pretty cool. Like I said, for the bald characters, there's 2 bald characters. They're both women or females. So, but one of them goes by they them, and the other one is her, she her. But that's what I was saying. Specifically, drawing like bald women, I need to practice that a lot more, because I want to draw 2 bald women. They're women, and they have more feminine traits. But drawing women with feminine traits also bald, it can be a little bit difficult. I should practice that a lot more after this video is over. This was a cool reference photo. I think it was only the outline for it, and then I just kind of added everything on top of it. But I think the colors of that right arm were a little bit off, but I still had fun. I could have did a little bit more. I think I need to, well, I'll do later on, not in this video, but in the next 200 videos, you guys will see me start using a lot more gradients, specifically the gradient tool, instead of like going in and shading, because that came in so much handy, especially recently. And then as of the recording of this video, I started actually adding highlights, kind of looking back on a lot of these videos here. This was another one which was complete dog shit, but this guy is number 8, if I'm not mistaken. Again, with the blonde hair and the green skin. You usually can't see his eyes, which is on purpose. Uh, this was another reference photo, which wasn't bad, but again, I could have did a better job. I think if some of these images were done like with really detailed backgrounds or in the motion of like a manhwa or something, they would be really like a lot cooler. But the fact that they're like still images like this and there's no additions surrounding them, they kind of look bad in my opinion. This is number 8 again. Like I mentioned, any blonde hair, green skin guy is going to be number 9 or number 8. I don't know. I get number 8 and number 9 confused because as much as I draw them, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to keep track of all my characters. This is that same character from earlier that I wanted to draw them moving around, and again, I really, really want to kind of start making my characters do movements because I want to see how I would draw them while moving in the air and stuff like that, and like actually having physicality to them. Because I think that's also something that you should be doing as an artist. Is like if you have an OC, you need to draw them doing every single mundane thing out there, right? Draw them in motion so that they can seem, more real. And that way you can also get a better understanding of what you're doing. This was also a reference photo. This was a little bit difficult to get like my brain wrapped around because of the legs, especially. I don't know what the hell I was doing there. Specifically, like what legs should be, like how the legs should be perceived. So that was hard. But the sword thing was cool as shit. I really liked doing that one. This is another one I think I should have tossed just because I don't like the way I drew the hands here. And I think the color, is the same thing with the hoodie. That same aspect, I still haven't been able to do the hoodies properly. And the same thing with this one, where I think I draw the hoodie too close to the skull. I need to work on it. I still haven't though, but that's what references are for. This was a really cool one. The idea here was cool, and I might go back into it later on to get a better feel for it. But I really like how cool this fucking idea was. That's probably one of my cooler conceptual ideas. This was another kind of some of these that I really like, right? Like I really have fond memories of drawing these and coloring them in and stuff like that because I feel like they were just dope as hell. This is one of those. Specifically, the way that I drew the hoodie, I mean the sweater is really cool. And I really have like this fondness for characters with big weapons or weapons almost as big as they are. So this is the Madman. This is his full war armor. So this is the armor that he had in the War of 3001. If you guys have read the book or have read the short stories in the beginning of the introduction, this is what he would look like when he was in the War of 3001. I didn't mention that obviously in the sketch there, but that's for you. There's another image I probably should have tossed. I'm going over these images like, oh, I regret this one. I regret this one. I won't say I regret them because they did teach me like what I like and what I don't like about certain images and certain reference points. So I think that is a good thing to take away, but it doesn't matter. So this is that other image with a character with big eyes and stuff like that. This was really fun, and this is also one of my favorite characters to have drawn. This is why I made like 2 versions of them. I think that's also another side note that if you guys see me drawing like a same character, multiple times, that character is probably one of my favorites to draw. So, but I think that's also cool because it means that a lot of the other characters might be throwaways, which I'm perfectly fine with for now, because I draw so much. But sometimes you'll get this like sense of inspiration when you draw a character, and it's like, bam, you have something you can draw 700 times and not really care about. Actually, there's one of the characters here that I've drawn like a whole bunch of times, and I find him drawing that character really, really. I mean, cool. Like Profile picture is one of those characters, and then there's the character with the green mask. There's kind of this character, but it's not necessarily this character. It's the mask that this character holds that I've probably drawn twice. I drew him twice. This one I should have tossed it, or I should have added. I think the idea here was good, and I do use this idea in later videos, like of recent of recording this one. But this was also probably a throwaway sketch I should have thrown away. I'm gonna try to stop wasting my time doing things I don't want to do when it comes to drawing. This is another image of the madman. For this one, I kind of don't like it. I don't like the way I used this reference. I could have done a better job. Probably will in the future. So this is just a character that when I was drawing, this is used from a reference. I forgot what reference it was from. Again, most of these I forget where I got them from. But this was one of kind of the characters that I started out with when I was, relatively still practicing digital work, and I decided to bring him in. This was the fourth introduction, so I drew him I didn't draw him two times. I drew him one time and then overlapped the image of him missing an arm from a previous fight that you guys probably seen on the community post, or like from a while ago in terms of when I posted these videos. This one I don't think I did finish this one. So this one was the idea again. I'll bring that up a lot, but the idea is fun here. I really like it, but I don't like the execution of the coloring. Because I think I could have did a better job. Sometimes some of these, like the colors are either too dull and I don't like them, or they're too, not that they're too much, but something doesn't match in my opinion. So you got, this is another type side character you guys will see with the mask and stuff like that, which again, as much as this was fun, the idea is better than the execution. This was also something that I think I don't think I magically came up with it, but I think I found a reference loosely based on this, and I was like, let me see if I can kind of pull this off. And I decided to see if I can kind of add more flow to character progression. This is from a manhwa, the reference at least, and it was cool to use to use the idea here. And this is number 8 again, blonde hair, green skin. Like I said, just wanted to see if I could push my characters into, more real scenes. And that shading there is something that like I don't normally do because it does take a while. But I really do like that is more closely resembling like my actual style than a lot of these, um, two-dimensional things. So this is the end of the video. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you stood this long, appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to subscribe, and make sure you like the video if you like the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.